In this first lick, I'm doing a couple of ideas that borrow things that Vai played in Shy Boy and in a solo from Ladies Night in Buffalo off 8 Minute Smile. So the first thing, I'm playing over D minor here, and what I'm going to be playing is this is kind of it's like a little 6-note pattern. It's effectively outlining like a kind of D minor 9th kind of sound. What I'm kind of thinking, I guess, it's almost like playing a little F major 7 arpeggio and then kind of sliding down, so I get to kind of the root note, the D, and then the minor 7th there. So you end up getting this kind of minor 9th sound. So what I'm playing here is I'm going to be playing 20th fret the high E string, pull off to 17th fret, and then I play 18th fret the B string with the second finger. Then I'm going to take my first finger and slide from 17 to 15 on that B string. And then I'm going to play 17th fret that G string. So that's because of my little 6 notes. Now the thing about this is, I've even though it's a kind of 6-note phrase, I'm playing this in even 16ths. So that, when you're kind of playing it, it's kind of a weird feeling with the timing, but you've kind of got that 1E and a 2E. Like that, okay? And watch out for that slide, you know, that you get back to that 15th fret. So that's your first little group of 6 notes. Okay, then I'm going to do 6 notes again. I'm going to do a pull off 18 to 15 on the B string. Then I'm going to play 17th fret the G string with the third finger. Then I'm going to slide 15 to 14 in the G. And then I'm going to play 15th fret of that D string there. So you've kind of got like a minor 3rd, then the root note, then the minor 7. That's like a flat 6 to the 5th, and a minor 3rd there over that D. Okay, again all even 16ths there, so you're kind of coming in on the and beat 2 there, 1 and 2. Yeah, and then the last little phrase, group of 6 notes, is basically this, down an octave, so it's like okay, but I don't kind of play that last note there. So what I'm doing here is pull off 17 to 14 on the G string. I play 15th fret the D string, again with the middle finger. Then I'm going to play 14th fret on that D string there. Yeah, and because I'm sliding into kind of the next phrase, that's kind of the end of the first bar. So all together, nice even 16ths. Okay, and from here I slide back into the 12th fret of the D string, because that's your root note of D. And from here what I'm playing is basically these 4 notes here, like a D minor 7 arpeggio. So I've got like 12th fret of the D string, 15th fret the G, sorry 15th fret the D string, then I get 14th fret of the G, 17th fret of that G string there. So you're playing like a root, minor 3rd, 5th, minor 7 of that D minor 7 arpeggio. And I'm going to play basically those notes twice, so 2 16ths. The first one I kind of slide into. Yeah. So you can either think of this sliding and then hitting this note here. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is basically, and then take that up an octave. So I'm going to do 15, 18 in the B, and then 17, 20 in the high E. Yeah, and then the very last bit, I'm going to bend up to the root notes. I'm going to bend 20th fret, hitting that 22nd fret note in the high E string there for like another D. Yeah, with a bit of vibrato on it as well. Nice and slow, whole thing goes like this. Yeah, so it sounds pretty cool because we're playing over this D minor. This idea of getting kind of these extended sounds over a D minor, I can play kind of F major 7 stuff, and I get that sound of the 9th in there because you're bringing in the E, and this is what that does. And it gives you that, you know, Vai loves the sound of the 9th, and it gives you that kind of rather than just being straight ahead like a pentatonic or something, it gives you a bit more of that extended interval kind of sound. This looks a really typical kind of Vai swept arpeggio idea. You hear this throughout Vai's playing through the years. And from the Daily Roth era, you can hear a kind of idea of this in Bump and Grind and Shy Boy. I'm sure it's probably in Skyscraper as well at some point. So basically what we're doing here is a little sweep arpeggio that we're shifting up, sliding up to. So the first little shape kind of looks like this. So I'm playing 12th fret of the D string with the first finger. Then I'm effectively playing like a little A minor 7 here. Again, this is over D minor. Everything's in D minor. So you've got, over the D minor perspective, you kind of root note, 5th, flat 7, 9th, 11th. Gives you that kind of, you know, that sound basically. And right hand wise, I'm doing like an upstroke, and then down, 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 up. So that little movement with the economy picking makes it nice and smooth, and it's not quite a rake, but it's this bit of economy picking. Now from here, you're going to slide up to 20th fret from the 15th with the 4th finger. And because that is your 4th finger, watch out for the accuracy there. You might want to, you know, support it with the fingers beside it. And then what you're going to do is descend down the exact same shape, but up at your first finger at the 17th fret. So you're playing 17 with an upstroke on the high E string, then 18th fret, the middle finger, the B string, 3rd finger plays 19 in the G, and then your first finger plays 17 in the D. And then end it off by playing 19th fret of the G string there, the downstroke. Yeah, that's the little kind of arpeggio part. So slowly it goes. Okay, now from here, basically I'm going to slide down and do a little D pentatonic minor, descending run. Something like that. So I slide down to 12th fret, pull off to 10th fret, pull off 12 to 10 on the D string, then slide 12 to 10 on the A string, pull off to 8 on that A string there, pull off 10 to 8 on the E string, and then slide up to 10 back to 8. And a little flurry on the D pentatonic minor. So the whole thing's slow, sounds like this. Yeah. There's here the flow of it where I'm pausing in this note. So I'm pausing in that note, pausing in that note. And then there's more of a kind of flurry at the end. Okay, so have fun with it. This lick is all about Ladies Night in Buffalo, which is one of my favourite Vai solos basically. And he has this really cool kind of sliding legato kind of phrase. So what I'm playing here to begin with is I'm playing this little shape up, first finger's at the 17th fret. I'm batting the 17th fret on the D and the G strings. My middle finger is playing 18th fret, the B string, and my 4th finger, which is the important one, is going to be playing 20th fret there, the high E string. Yeah, so it's almost like this little kind of chord shape. Very Vai kind of chord. But what I'm doing is I'm thinking all about 20th fret, my 4th finger. So this little shape that I've got, I'm kind of raking through, so it's not like a smooth bit of economy picking, it's more like a rake. And I rake through that shape and then slide from 20th fret to 15th fret. Again, because we're playing in D minor, that's like a minor 7. You know, sliding down to that kind of 11th, the G. Yeah. Again, I'm holding that kind of shape. Then from here, I'm going to do a similar idea, rake up the shape, and then go from 15th fret to 10th fret. Yeah. And then I go from 10th fret to 5th fret. So you've got this little idea that goes 20th fret, 15th fret, 10th fret, and 5th fret. You're using this little kind of chordal shape to kind of give you a little bit of a rake into it. Okay, so that's it. Now from here, you're going to slide up. And then basically what I'm going to do is use all legato, nothing is picked from now on in. And I'm going to descend down basically a D minor scale. So I've descended up here. From here, slide up to 8th fret. Pull off 6-5, 8-6-5 in that high string. Then from here, it's all kind of triplet 16th. So I do hammer on from nowhere and do 8-6-5 in the B string. Yeah. Then I'm going to hammer on from nowhere and do 7-5-3 on the G string. 7-5-3 in the D string. Same thing. Hammer, pull off, pull off. And then same thing on the A string there. 7-5-3, hammer on with that 4th finger. And then from here, I'm going to slide from 3rd fret to 7th fret on that A string, but I do a little dip with the bar as I do it. There's that a little bit of Vai bendiness to it. So that little phrase, slow kind of sounds like that. So all together, the whole thing goes like this. Whoops, goes like this. That note there, I think the chord probably maybe changes to an F at that point, so I'm ending on like a little major 7 chord tone there, to give a little bit of kind of colour to it. So that's a cool little phrase. This no pick legato thing Vai does a lot, in particularly Eat 'em and Smile, lots of little runs. So when you're doing it, try and keep the hand very light. Particularly if you're hammering on from nowhere the 4th finger, that might feel awkward at first, but take it nice and slow, think very light and fluttery with this hand. You don't need as much finger pressure as you think to get the notes out. One way of practicing it is to lightly touch the strings and try it, so you get the kind of that sensation of how the fingers, how relaxed they should feel. Yeah. So have fun with it, it's a great lick. So this lick idea comes from a combination of something that Vai plays in Hot Dog on a Shake and Stand Up from the Skyscraper album. So I've got a harmonised guitar part here. I'll show you how to play effectively kind of the left channel, but basically what I play in the video. The harmony guitar part I'll show as well, but basically the harmony that's being used is a very typical harmony. The second guitar is playing like a 4th below. So from its perspective, you've got a 5th above, from the notes that I'm playing, it's like kind of 4th below. So rather than doing like thirds, like diatonic thirds that you might hear like a Thin Lizzy kind of harmony, Vai gives you this kind of really, I guess at the time, very modern sounding kind of harmonised kind of idea. Now what I'm playing here again is in D minor, and the first little thing I'm playing is a little tapped arpeggio. Now I'm playing this again with all legato. I'm not picking any notes here. And what I'm playing this little D minor 7 arpeggio here is I'm playing 13th fret the B string, it's got minor 7. Hammering to 15th fret the D string, that's a root note. Hammer from nowhere onto that F there, that 13th fret the E string, so that's your minor 3rd. Up to the 5th at the 17th fret with the 4th finger. And I'm going to tap that 20th fret the high E string there for like the flat 7 interval. Yeah. And the phrase, it's all kind of even 16th, so you've got 8 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. So basically you play a bar of that, so you're playing it twice. Yeah. But basically, because of the transition, I kind of don't play that 15th fret there and transition to the next bit. What I'm going to do is move up to the little F major 7 arpeggio here. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to play 17th fret, I slide up to it, 17th fret the B string, hammer to 18th fret with the 2nd finger, then I'm going to hammer 17th fret the high E string to 20th fret, and then I'm going to tap at that 22nd fret. I think you use 1st, 2nd, 1st, 4th for that. Yeah, and again the phrasing, I kind of play that and then transition to the next little shape. So the F major, I've talked about this in another lick. If I'm playing like an F major 7 or a D minor, you get that sound of the 9th in there because of the E. Yeah. So after I play that, and then transition down and play this little, basically another D minor 7 arpeggio, but you can almost think of it as being like the top of a D pentatonic minor. So I'm going to hammer 10, 13 on the B string, then 10, 13 in the high E string, and then tap at the 17th fret of the high E string there. Okay, so that again, it's all even 16, so you get 2 of them to the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I do hammer on that one because I'm not transitioning like I did before. So all that together sounds like this. Now after I've done that, I'm now going to play this little chromatic idea. So I'm still at the 10th fret here, first position, and I'm going to tap that. So I'm tapping 17th fret in that high E string, pull off to 13, pull off to 10. Then I do the same thing on the B string. Then I go up a fret. Yeah, and now I'm playing like 6-note phrases. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then I go up another fret. Yeah, so I'm doing basically 19, 15, 12, 19, 15, 12, and then up another fret, so I'm doing 20, 16, 13, 20, 16, 13. And then I end it up with a bend to the D again. So what I do, so I kind of tap like I was going to start the phrase again, but this time bend with the left hand, so your tapped note gets bent up a whole step. You can add some vibrato on that as well. So that little section slowly goes like this. Okay. Now the harmony part is basically, as I said, is playing kind of fourth below. So when you're doing this, you're basically playing this little shape down here. So like an A minor 7 arpeggio. So I'm playing like 8, 10, 8, 12 on the B and the A strings and tapping at the 15th fret, you know, rather than the 20th fret. Then I go playing a D minor 7 one that we were doing before, but this time of course it's when the other one's playing. Yeah, so I'm doing 10, 13, 10, 13, tap at the 17th fret. Yeah, and then when I come down to play this D minor here, I play an A minor down here. So I'm doing 5, 8 in the B string, 5, 8 in the high E string, tapping at 12th fret high E string. And then when this chromatic sequence is going on, I do the same thing, but I'm down at this A kind of minor position. And the same thing when I get up to the, I tap and bend. Yeah, so I'm bending up to this A, whilst the other one's bending up to the D. Okay, and that's it. So it's a pretty cool phrase. The reason I did this one was to take a relatively, you know, even 16th pattern, but harmonise it just to add a little more interest to it. Plus, it's the sort of thing that you hear in Hot Dog and a Shake, basically. So have fun with it. Now for the last lick, I thought I'd take inspiration from Vai's epic tapping run in Big Trouble. Rather than doing the lengthy kind of sequence that he does, I've kind of condensed it down into kind of 3 little sections and then pieced them together. So as always, this is all in D minor, and the first little phrase or idea or tapping run is all based around D natural minor scale up here, like the 10th fret. Okay, so just to kind of talk about the fret numbers there, I'm doing like 13, 12, 10 in the high E string, 13, 11, 10 in the B string, 12, 10, 9 in the G string, 12, 10, 8 on the D string, 12, 10, 8 in the A string, and then I've got D there at the 5th fret. So the tapping sequence I'm doing here, Vai does quite a few little scalar sequences. The one I'm going for here is I'm going to hammer on from nowhere at the 10th fret, then hammer 12, 13 on that high E string. Then I'm going to hammer, tap at that 15th fret of the E string there. And then that kind of starts in the bar. So this is kind of like this little bit here, these 3 notes are kind of like a pickup. And I might even just hear 10, 12, kind of the speed I'm playing it. But basically, that's the starting point. Then I'm going to pull off 13, 12, 10, hammer on from nowhere onto the B string, 13th fret, and then pull off 11 and 10, and then 11, 13, yeah. Okay, and that's kind of like the little unit. Yeah, so when you sequence down, you get that kind of pattern. So after I've done this, I'm going to tap at the 15th fret of the D string here, then pull off, you know, 13, 11, 10, hammer on from nowhere in the 12th fret on the G string to do the pull off to 10, 9 here, then hammer back to 10, 12. So that's your kind of next phrase. So it starts with the tap. Yeah, and then from here I'm going to tap at the 14th fret, pull off 12, 10, 9. Yeah. Then I'm going to hammer on 12 on that D string, pull off to 10, to 8th fret, to hammer to 10, to hammer to 12. Yeah. And then the last phrase, I tap at 14th fret, oops, on that D string, pull off to 12, 10, 8, and then tap at the 13th fret, the A string, to 12, 10, 8, and then slide to 5. So that's kind of like a little, like I guess like a little 8-note kind of sequence at the end of it. Okay. So timing wise, I'm not thinking specifically playing 6 notes to a beat here. It's more of a kind of a flow, but I'm thinking of this pattern. That kind of pattern, then the taps kind of orientate the kind of sequence. So it has that kind of blurred lines rhythmically across the kind of beats. Okay. Now after I've done this, basically I'm going to slide up to 10th fret on the A string here, and I'm going to play this little sequence that goes like this. Yeah. So this is using a little bit of cool little kind of string skip tap ideas that Vai use. So I slide up and I'm kind of visualizing like a D pentatonic minor here, like if you know your cage shapes, like a G form. So what I'm seeing is like 10-8 on the high E string, 10-8 the B string, 10-7 in the G, 10-7 in the D, and then I guess 10-8 on the A string there. I'm just thinking 10. So I slide up to that 10th fret, then what I'm going to do is tap at the 17th fret here, pull off to that 10th fret on the A string, then use the middle finger for that, then I use my ring finger to tap to do the 17th fret the G string, and I pull off to 10-7 on the G string, and it's kind of like a little 5-note phrase, like a quintuplet. Yeah, so I play that, then I move it up, so I'm now going to tap at 10th fret the D string, pull off, 17th fret that D string tap, pull off to 10th fret the D string, then I'm going to take my middle finger and tap at the 17th fret, and this time I'm going to pull off to 10-8 on the B string, Then I tap 17th at the G, pull off to 10 on the G, and then my my ring finger taps 17th at the high E string to do 17, 10, 8 in the high E string, and then my middle finger plays 10th fret of that B string with a tap, 10, 8, slide to 6. Okay, so slowly it goes like this. Okay, a little bit faster. Yeah, and it's this cool kind of displaced feel to it because of the way the string skips around. Okay, now this leads into the next section. So basically just done slid to this kind of 6th fret here. What I'm going to do is effectively kind of hammer on from nowhere with that middle finger at the 6th fret, because what I'm going to play is that. So I'm hammering from nowhere, 6th fret the B string, and then I'm going to tap at 15th fret of this B string here. And what I'm going to do, I'm effectively coming down like a D pentatonic minor scale here. I just have this kind of E in here. Tap at the 15th fret, pull off to 8, 6, 5 on the B string there. I'm going to tap at the 17th fret G string now, pull off to 7, 5 on the G string. Then I'm going to tap 17th fret the D string just to the 7th fret there. And that's a typical little sequence that Vai did, particularly in that Big Trouble phrase where it's like you've got like 3 notes here, 4 notes, 2 here, 1 note here, like tapping off to. Yeah. After I've done that, and then use my ring finger, tap 17th fret the G string to do the 17, 7, 5 of the G string again. Then I tap 17 in the D, same thing. 17, 7, 5, and then tap 17th fret the A string. 17, 7, 5 in the A string. And then slide to the 3rd fret there of that A string, that C. And then to end it off, give it vibrato. And then descend the bar down, so you get that kind of wobbly kind of vibe to it. Okay, so that sequence slow goes like this. Okay, and that's it. So it's kind of those 3 sections put together. A couple of things, it's like the scalar tapping ideas that Vai uses, a little bit of the string skip that he does, and using like 2 fingers basically, the middle finger and the ring finger. And then the last one's like another very typical Vai thing, tapping pentatonics. You know, even to this day, he still kind of uses that stuff. Okay, so have fun with it. It's a great lick, and hopefully there's some ideas there you can use in your own playing. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully those 5 licks inspire you to go and use them in your own playing, try the ideas out, try some of the techniques. Obviously, Steve Vai as a player, from all the decades that he's been playing and the legend that he is, he's got so many techniques and musical ideas. You know, the man is a creative genius. But the Dave Lee Roth era stuff, him in that kind of rock band setting, for me is one of my favourite kind of eras of Vai's playing. Particularly playing with someone like Dave Lee Roth and coming to that after Alcatraz, and you know, just that kind of making his mark type thing. And together with Billy Sheehan and Bissonette, there were some bands, you know, there's loads of great live footage. In fact, I'll put a link in the video info to a video that I was watching, some live footage of them like in 86 or 87 I think it was. So have fun with it, guys. As usual, if you want the extended version of this lesson, check out Master the Guitar on Patreon. You'll get the Sound Slice page for that with the tab. So you've got the animated tab to go along with the lesson. You can also check out the Master Guitar Patreon for stuff, the riff lessons, other kind of gear demos, and also backing tracks on there as well, and lesson requests. If there's some stuff you want to see, you know, check out the Patreon group. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all those kind of usual places. Basically just look for Master the Guitar and you'll find it. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you'll have fun with those licks, and I'll see you soon.